All right, Natalie, thanks. We'll check back in with you soon. And now we want to welcome Kaitlyn McConnell from Ozarks Alive here on Daybreak. Kaitlyn, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here, as always, bringing some great stories and history from around the Ozarks for us. Today we're talking about the Jane store.
Yes.
You just posted this on Ozarks Alive yesterday.
Yes.
Tell me about the Jane store.
Well, the Jane store was a place I'd heard about for a long time, and I finally got down to visit last week, and it was an amazing place. It's a vintage general store in McConnell County, which is the very southwest corner of Missouri, that's been around for a long time, but it's found sort of a new chapter around the last 10 years or so, 12 years, I think, as a destination for lunch and breakfast. And so some longtime local individuals who love to cook took over the store back then and really turned it into a place where the community gathers, which to me is kind of the most important aspect of this whole story, in addition to the good food.
Yeah, so good food and the community part of it. So you said you heard about it for a long time.
Yes.
What were the things you were hearing about? I imagine people just knew about what you do in Ozarks Alive and said, you know what, Kaitlyn, you got to check out this store. Yes. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so that's sort of just what happens sometimes. And I always love that the most because it's just so organic and you get to kind of really get an insider's perspective. And that was what the case was. This individual who reached out said, I've been there, I'm from that area. It's a really great place. You should definitely check it out. And the thing that had been a little bit of a challenge in the time since then is that they are only open, like I said, for breakfast and lunch, and it's Tuesday through Friday. So it's sort of limited hours, but for people who are out and about, or especially down that way right now for floating, because McDonald County is a big destination for that, it might be something to put on the list to check out.
Yeah, so Tuesday through Friday for breakfast and lunch. Mm-hmm. What did you try something? What did you have to eat there?
It looked amazing. I took lots of pictures, more than sampling everything. But they have homemade cinnamon rolls. They've got cookies, pies. Reubens were what they were doing on Friday, which is their special every Friday for lunch. But the thing also beyond food that they make there is they also sell a lot of spices and different cooking supplies too. So you can go there and get some spices, get sample some of the dishes, and also get to just be in an old-time general store, which we don't see very often anymore either. The building was built in 1927. Very cool architectural, environmental place to be able to see too.
Tell me about the community part of it. The food all sounds delicious. Tell me about that part of it, the people who are running the business, the people who are cooking there.
Like I said, the people who took over the store in this current iteration are longtime locals, so they know a lot of people, but they also, you go in there, you see a table, or multiple tables, I should say, of people who are there all the time. There was one gentleman I spoke with who actually says he eats nearly every breakfast and lunch at the store. And so you see familiar faces all the time. You see the sense of people being together. In our honestly disconnected world, you don't see that sort of in-person chance to get to know people and get to know a sense of where you are. And I think that that's a very unusual thing that this store offers.
Yeah, very unusual. That is the type of thing that you read about in books. Here is a small diner that the whole town or most people will go for lunch, and that's where you catch up with everyone. So great story. Thank you so much. Kaitlyn McConnell with Ozarks Alive. If you want to read more on this story and more posts, just check out ozarksalive.com. Correct?
Yep.
We got that. All right. Thanks, Kaitlyn.